Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea. Today we have a special game for two reasons this is special. Number one, actually three reasons. Number one, this is on the ladder. Number two, it's played between two barcodes. And number three, these two barcodes are currently the rank 2 and rank 1 on Aligalak, the ELO tracking system that I personally have been using for a long time to see who the best players in the world are, and that many people use to see who the best players in the world are. As we have, of course, HarstemCasts here in the top right versus Serral in the bottom left. Blue versus red, barcode versus barcode. Protoss versus Zircon, Alcyone. And there's something beautiful about watching ladder games. I don't know why that is, but it almost feels like the purest form of... I know that's not true, but on the ladder is where things truly matter. Yeah, playing an Intel Extreme Masters Katowice, that's fun, and becoming the world champion, I'm sure that's great, but being the rank 1 on the ladder for the entirety of the year, that's what it's all about. And both of these players aspire to have that. Serral, I do believe, is rank 1 on the ladder majority of the year. It's very rare to see him knocked off that position. I think Clem might have done it at some point during the last few months, temporarily, but most of the time Serral comes back up there. Yes, currently HarstemCasts, I was surprised to see it actually. I was just checking Aligalak because I check it fairly frequently just to see what's going on in the top 10. I'm always curious. And I saw Serral rank 1 as he has been for the past, I don't know how many years at this point, but he's been rank 1 for quite a while. And HarstemCasts in rank 2. So two Europeans as the respective rank 1 and 2. And then I get this replay as well. And my day was absolutely made. So we see HarstemCasts. One of the things that he does so well in this matchup is his adept control. It is actually second to none. It's by far the best adept control in the world. He gets stuff done with adepts more than other players. He very frequently loses his adepts, but also gets way more damage with those adepts. Now, Oracle here is going to be flying in forward. No, it's not. Yes, it is. No, yes, no. It's not going to get any damage. Serral with some very proper queen movement. It's not going to be in any trouble here. Starting an extractor as well to save one drone. There's another drone on the way. That one might be in a bit of trouble. This queen's trying to push the Oracle out of the way. So far, Serral has lost 0 workers. Look at that defense. What the hell? Beautiful control there on the drones. As 2 adepts have gone down so far, 5 links only have fallen. And all of these drones just survive. Serral with some superb movement here when it comes to the queens is just not allowing these oracles to get close. And so often do we hear Zerg players complain about how powerful the Protoss early game really is. And it's so easy for TOS to get worker kills. But that's not the case against Serral. 0 kills on these oracles right now. Third oracle is about to join in and have a good time most likely. Serral with an absolutely stellar early game is missing this run-in. It's going to lose 2 workers instantly. Deals a lot of hull damage though. And I think HarstemCasts actually needs to piss off out of here right now if he doesn't want to lose any oracles. Third oracle, once again, in vision range of this overlord. I do wonder if Serral maybe could have had an overlord on that left side and kind of stopped, But I think he could have stopped that last bit of damage as well. But then again, 2 worker kills against 3 oracles. That is a phenomenal start. That is probably the best start you can wish for. So now this oracle is moving in forward. Serral gambled on which drone was going to get attacked and gambled wrong. As a result, that is going to be a 3rd kill there. 3 oracles for 3 drone kills. I think that is something that Serral's going to be fairly happy with. Here comes HarstemCasts once again, trying to go in. I'd love for this overlord to just kind of hang out behind this mineral line at this point, just to check what the oracle movement is going to be. Oracle's taking a bit of damage. Just shield damage for now, though. They, of course, already have some hull damage. Adepts on the map trying to stop the creeps from spreading too far. And that is one thing we can say about HarstemCasts is that he's been doing a good job at that. Yes, he hasn't gotten too many kills, but the creep ain't all that far out on the map. 17 links still around, 73 workers, and we're 6 minutes in. This is such a classical Serral early game. It is so rare to see this type of stuff. It is not rare to see this in a Harstem game, okay? There's many Zerg players that can only lose 3 workers. There's many Zerg players. I'm pretty sure my off-race could only lose 3 workers against my own Protoss early game, but HarstemCasts, most of the time with his first 2 adepts, get more worker kills than that. And I actually think in majority of the game, he does get that, even against the top players. He just gets so many kills with his adepts, and now with 3 oracles taking serious damage on them, and on top of that, losing 2 adepts, he's only killed 3 drones. This is actually the highest level of play. And in a way, I'm kind of sad that because it was a barcode versus barcode replay, I wanted to have it be a guess the barcode type of replay. Guess who these players are. Because this is such high level, but I really wonder how well people would be capable of recognizing this. Because it really is extraordinary play. It really is. Macro looking solid from both sides, as it always is. As we have a 4th Nexus going down right now. 11 Stalkers out on the map. Storm starts very quickly. Or fairly quickly, at least. Maybe not very, but definitely fairly. Lots of roaches out on the map. That does surprise me. It's a very high roach count, given the somewhat low Stalker count that there is so far. It seems like Serral overcommitting a little bit on the defense in the early stages of this game. We have one Oracle, I guess, yeah, just staying home over at that fort. Storm, Prism, 2 more cannons on the way. We see a cannon actually in the mineral line. Perhaps MaxPax is afraid currently of some type of Spire play. Hasn't really scouted. Now sees the extra gases. Tries to get a revelation in. Does get that. We'll see a lot of these drones. Hasn't seen a single Hydra yet. The roach count... I completely understand why MaxPax is building this Phoenix. And I completely understand why these Stalkers are being warped in the main. Not just for the Overseer, but also for potential Mutas. This really makes it... Look at that. He's transferring these Mutas. He's afraid right now. He thinks this is Muta. He's buying the Muta. Oh, he's drinking this Kool-Aid. The Muta Kool-Aid. He's chugging it. The only thing we're lacking here is the 2nd Stargate and a fleet beacon. He's gonna get the surprise of a lifetime once he sees those lurkers. And this is not the good type of surprise, like a surprise party type of surprise. Ta-da! What a great time. Absolutely not. All your friends are there. No. It's like a surprise party and we burn your house down. Ta-da! No more house. Like what? That's not fun at all. Why would you do that? Why would you call this a surprise party? It's not a party. But it is a surprise. And that's what these lurkers are gonna be. Double Forge? It's gotta go into Triple Forge. Can Serral deal with that Triple Forge here? I'm not so sure. Doesn't have charge yet. Wow. It's also very late. Very, very late here. Unbelievable scenes here in this game so far. MaxPax now attempting to take some map control. Oh, he is just taking some map control. He's taking quite a bit of map control. Look at that worker count. 100 drones. He had 100 drones. Honestly, if he would have had maybe 10 less roaches, I think this game would have been the single best game I've ever seen, early game-wise. I can't recall a game where I've seen someone play a better early game. Maybe the creep spread was lacking too much in order for it to be the best early. But against MaxPax, this is so hard. Unless you build more queens. But this was done off a relatively low queen count. He has 7 now. I think he initially defended with 6. That's another thing. You can have a great early game if you build 2 spores per base and you get 12 queens. Like, that's not that hard. A gold player could have a good early game. No, actually, that's not true. Still lose like 10 workers to 2 of that. But you know what I mean? Like, this was an efficient early game out of Serral. He's now setting up for a proper mid game. He's giving his opponent a lot of time. This is something that Serral often does. Is because Serral believes that if he survives, he wins the game. Which must be a pretty pleasant thought to have in your mind. Is that as long as you don't die within the first 10-12 minutes, you usually don't lose. And I remember asking him about this in particular in the ZVZ matchup. And he felt that was true. He says, usually when the game goes late, like the only player that can really fight against me is Raynor, is what he said. He's the only player I'm somewhat afraid of. But even there, most of the time, he wins. Which is just... that must give so much confidence. So where other Zerg players, they would be trying to make something work with these lurkers right now, which I don't think would necessarily be a bad thing. Serral's just playing very conservative StarCraft. Double Spire here, more Hydras, more drones. Lost quite a few though. As you might notice, none of the numbers are popping up here on the right side like it usually is in games, like the -10 drones or the upgrades finishing. That's because in order for those numbers to show up, it needs to be played on a certain mod that needs to be selected before the game. But because this is a ladder game, that's just not quite the case. So we're going to need to keep an eye on these things ourselves. So if you don't see the drones die, it could still mean that lots of drones are dying here. And I've not been doing a great job at pointing it out, so I'm sorry for that. As this Spore is going to get targeted down right now, or at least killed. Not sure if there was a lot of target fire involved there. Oracles with the Revelation, going to spot these lurkers. Maxpax believes he can go in there. I'm not so sure if I believe the same thing. He's losing quite a bit of these Templar. It's going deep with the Immortals. Lurker flank doesn't quite work out. There's no Vipers in this army. Triple Zealots at the same time running by. More and more workers going down. This base is in some trouble. More lurkers showing up right now. I think this is going to be the end of this party. But at the end of the day, it does feel like Serral is the one that ends up getting surprised here. Large Immortal count. We have another setup out of Maxpax. Does he have a mothership? Yeah, he has a mothership. I would love for that mothership to just move to a side, especially the left side. For a cheeky little recall, look at how many resources are being dedicated to trying to keep this right side alive. Almost all of the lurkers are there. What do we even have on the left? It's a Spore, 2 Spines, and a lurker in a mineral line to deal with Zealot run-bys. That really is it. This is a difficult position to maneuver here for Serral. And I wish this mothership was more active on the map right now. I think this is the first major mistake that Maxpax is making. Because he's been playing a phenomenal game when it comes to army movement, unit control. Like he's been setting up for this, and he's getting those upgrades going. He has the 311 right now. He's getting the 322. There's no +3 range yet. There's no +2 carapace. So upgrade-wise, we see our Protoss player really outperforming the Zerg here by quite a little bit. Observers getting shot out of the sky. These Spores are even going to be moved back. Lurker count is, I'm not sure if it's high enough. Oh, that's definitely high enough. It's 17. Vipers being added in. And usually the answer here to these types of massive lurker counts is to go into Airtools. And whether it's going to be carriers or whether it's going to be Tempest is on the Protoss. I think theory-wise, probably Tempest is just a little bit better. Because carriers, they're not so useful. They're really not so useful in small numbers. While Tempests are very useful in small numbers already. So you can keep that pressure up most of the time. So the thing with carriers is that you usually lose a bit of pressure. This was a brilliant recall, by the way. Would have loved to see this about maybe like a minute ago. But that doesn't make it any less brilliant right now. There's no Observer here, which actually is an issue. Observer way too far behind. But this play was good. And we're going to see this hatchery actually go down. Needs to be careful that he doesn't lose too many of these Templars in the end, though. The carriers without any serious upgrades also need to be careful, as they're just gonna get... Oh my god! That Viper abduct getting cancelled there by the recalls. Another Immortal gets taken out as well. This was not a great fight, I don't think so. More carriers now on the way. That's gonna make his ground army much weaker. And actually gives Serral the permission almost to start moving on the map. Serral's still pretty much on the back foot at this point. Doesn't have sufficient defenses here on this side of the map. Adrenal Glands has finished, so these Lings should be doing an okay job against the Zealots, although with 3-2-2 upgrade soon against, what's it gonna be, like 2-1? I think Zealots might just be fine. I guess good upgrades for Zealots. And it's gonna get cleaned up here with the help of some Lurkers. This is also being pushed back. There's no real anti-air here. Where are the Corruptors and Vipers? They're flying in the middle of the map. Is that a Tempest I saw? No, it's just a cannon shot. More Immortals being pushed out right now as the Cannon Zealot Warp in combination is going to hold here. Lurker's moving very far forward. Serral actually needs to be somewhat careful here. Because Zealots, when there's nothing in front of Lurkers, are actually a pretty okay counter if the Lurkers aren't in very high numbers. Really needs to be quite careful there. Maxpax's gonna start moving towards the right side. Uh-oh, Serral has plans though. And these plans do not look all too good here for Maxpax. That's -1, that's -2. Going to be -3, and I think honestly -4 and 5. It's going to get 2 more over here, and then perhaps this bad boy on the left side as well. Couple of storms raining down. Archons, can we get a super battery? No, we can't. Corruptor count has been diminished by at least a bit, but at the same time the carrier count has been pretty much reset right now, back to 1. 5 carriers going down there. Lurkers taking out the gold base, and Serral takes back control of this game in decisive fashion. Like, once Serral gets out on the map, he's unstoppable. He really is. This left side's still alive. We have another Zealot run-by coming in right now. So the topside base being taken with this probe. More carriers still in production, as well as the +2 air weapons upgrade at this point. Let's hope that's going to achieve something for him. 88 drones for Serral is a very high number of drones. These Zealots just get knocked out. Lurkers, lurkers, lurkers. Doing such a good job there. Oh, first Tempest was on the way. Does get cancelled. So to me, it seems like MaxSpecs feels like the carriers haven't really been doing the job for him. Resources lost. Just, oh my god, it was almost completely even here. So now we're going to get a big attack. This seems like it has some risk. Archons are pushing through. Upgrades, of course, on these Archons are good. Still only have +2 on these Lurkers. And the +2 shields, the +3 attack, definitely dealing some serious damage. Left side base does get cancelled. Not all the Lurkers were there. Links coming in as well. Gonna get a cancel on this Nexus, perhaps. And maybe also get a couple of worker kills. These Links are powerful. These Links are strong. And the Zealot Warpin is gonna go, well, die. Sent to heaven. Regal towards the left side. Right side just doesn't have a lot of cannons either. Serral's not mining enough. Ooh, it's gonna lose these Lurkers. That's a painful loss. That's -4 Lurkers. Pretty much for free. Killed a couple of probes here. I guess earlier cancelled that base. But that's so long ago now. We don't even count it anymore. Almost 30 seconds. Ugh. Tempest coming out here for MaxSpecs. Not happy so far with the resources lost. Says, hey, I want that to be a bit more efficient for me. And I dig that. I really do. Another cancel on this base is the only thing that can come out of this. Because we have Neural Parasite now being researched. Corruptor Viper is looking for something. I'm not sure what though. I guess the carriers, but where are they? Safely hiding behind this army. Can we get an abduct? We can get an abduct. That's one. Ah, it's gonna barely get it. I don't think a single corruptor went down there. Maybe 1 or 2 did. Viper stays alive. Okay, trade there for sure. Lurker count still going up. Oh, I guess that's only fair if you only have 1 lurker remaining, is to get 4 more. It's really good against run-bys, because you always need observers versus the run-bys in that case. Lurkers are just so useful against Zealots, against Archons. I love that type of stuff. You can easily defend the base if you don't have any observers there. You always need to wait for them. And you can really stall this type of push-out as well. Yes, yeah. MaxSpecs here is just being pushed back. So I was going to move forward. It's trying to once again get this gold, but I think it's going to die. Both players' banks fairly low. Resources lost, fairly similar. No Viper in this army, no Infestors lurking around either. That could really be a serious issue. Ling around by it is insanely good. Always on the right side at the right time. I feel like these Lurkers are perhaps a bit out of position. And I think, yeah, Sarah also agrees with that. Definitely agrees with that. Very low eco for both players. Just 2k a minute. Lower worker count for both as well. We're really just a single fight away from this potentially ending. And the army splits are good. He needs to be so careful, MaxSpecs that is. Because if he gets caught with this army, it's like fungled or he loses some units to Neural. That could have some dire consequences. At the same time, if you win one side right now, you're breaking through and you're taking out the mining of the other player. MaxSpecs believes he can do it. Sarah believes MaxSpecs can do it as well. And it's going to pull back. It's going to need the backup of these Infestors, forced to cancel his gold base. MaxSpecs still being outmined. This base went up. There is a burrowed Ling here, and that means there's not going to be any vision. Okay, it does get killed. I think with the revelation of that Oracle. Maybe there's an observer here. No, there's 2 observers in here. Never mind. Once again, no cancel on this base. Hatchery just gets taken out. That is the 6th hatchery that gets killed this game. 35 lurkers, 16 corruptors, 20 hydras. Where's the mothership, by the way? Would love to see a rebuild on that. Could definitely be useful. We're gonna have a move in forward. Lurker count really isn't all that high. And this is mainly links, so that means that storms are going to be not just good, but fairly broken. And if the Zealots and Immortals start touching these Lurkers, I mean, that's a serious problem here for Cerro that he needs to deal with at some point. He just needs to deal with that. So we have a rotation towards the bottom side. The moment Cerro realizes that, which should be right about now, he's going to send everything over. And I assume links will move towards the left side. That's what I would want to see, at least. I would want these links to go take out this base. Oh, that's a fight, though. That's a fight. MaxSpecs a little bit out of position. 1 fungal hit, 2nd fungal hit. Is there a 3rd fungal? Yes, we're not casting it. We're not casting the final fungal. Bit of a blunder there. Bit of a blunder. Now it's going to get it anyway. But the corruptor count maybe not quite high enough. It's going to pull back, tries to snipe the oracle, but doesn't quite get it. Bank in favor of MaxPax. Resources lost in favor of MaxPax. He's once again going to take out the space while also mining from his own gold. He's going to get quite a few resources from there. There's not enough anti-air right now in the composition of Serral. Where is his supply actually? He has 11 lurkers, 9 brute, plenty of anti-ground. But he's even having trouble maxing at this point. Resources lost, 4k in favor of MaxPax. Ooh, that was a good shot. And his watchtower is paying dividends right now. Absolutely. Here comes a Viper. No, it's not going to be used. Still some carriers in there as well, which in this type of situation, I actually really like carriers. Having a couple of carriers there for some added damage output and maybe being like a bait for the corruptors almost. That is kind of cool. Queens here are falling. The second part of the army is here, of course. I feel like this base has been going unchecked for too long. GG! Serral doesn't believe in it anymore. He says, hey, there's nothing I can do. I don't have the Vipers. I don't have the Infestors. I can't engage into this army. You having that watchtower is simply too much. And he needs this mineral income. He loses the base. He loses the game. At the same time, the Zealot run by came in as well. Yeah, phenomenal gameplay. Great game. Oh, more of these games. I actually would love to see a best of 5 right now between MaxPax and Serral, or MaxPax and any of the top Zergs. I feel like for a while it was his Achilles heel, but right now he's strong in PvP, he's strong in PvT, and he seems strong in Protoss versus Zerg as well. And I mean, there were maybe a couple of weak moments, but overall, like theoretically, such a strong game out of Max, really. And perhaps time for Serral to become more aggressive if his early game is this good in the mid game. Because there might be a new king in town. And he's the Danish king. All right, it's going to be it for me today. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I'll see all of you next time for a new video. Thanks so much for watching and bye-bye.